And good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to another quick TV review. This is The Walking Dead Season 5, and I'm going to dive right in. The first thing on my mind on the concept to really review on, uh, this season continues a little bit on the expansion of communities. And of course, you have Terminus, which is, a group of cannibals, pretty much, and the Grady Memorial Hospital. And then at the very end, you have Alexandria being introduced, and this thing of communities, they play on it really, really well, and because early in the seasons it was only like two, which was Woodbury and in the prison, and then after a while you see the little different groups and concepts and stories that interline between the next set of people, and then Alexandria is pretty much the staple one that stays for a while. So another good addition is that what was interesting was really to me was the Grady storyline because it wasn't in the book at all. I think it was really pretty much a little bit of filler to fill in the episode slots, but at the same time, it does move the story because one of the characters is one of the reasons why they go to Virginia in the first place, and they discover Alexandria. And interesting enough, Gareth, who was the main cannibal, at Terminus, was one of the villains, and Dawn at the hospital was also one of the villains. And Dawn is pretty interesting because I think Dawn's character was a little bit, to me, pretty much for people who didn't read the book. I think it was setting up Negan just a tad bit because there was a system, but at the same time, she really wasn't the head honcho in charge. The difference is that she's not as crazy as Negan. She's not going to kill you to make a point or even vast sets of groups. And then not to mention there were a lot of people there in her camp that didn't like her either, but they just didn't want to kill her because she didn't, you know, kill people on top of that. Um, so it was just pretty much how she talked about there's a system in place and there are rules, and if they patch you up, you have to pretty much fill in your work for doing that there. But I think that was BS. I think it was a little bit of a loop just to keep you there. And even with Noah was the same thing. And even at the very end, when they were trying to make a trade, she took Noah. She wanted to take Noah as well. And then, you know, I know you've seen it by now, but it ends up getting Beth killed, and it was just completely messed up. But the good thing is that, when it finally, to me personally, when Alexander was finally introduced, I was a little bit shocked because I didn't think I was sitting here watching. I was like, okay, now we can get ready for the Saviors. And even though I'm not expecting them in this season, they're either going to show up next season or the season after that because I didn't. I think there were my assumptions that I was thinking they were going to drag a little bit longer, but that would mess with their ratings. And my opinion, I think they're trying to catch up to where the book is so they can write their own material, pretty much like what Game of Thrones is doing. But you know, as quickly as they did catch up, which again I didn't expect because there was a lot of material they had to cover, and even when I was watching I think season 2, I was already caught up. I think in the comic book past pretty much where season 4 is at now, and even right now as the show is currently airing, I'm already at pretty much the introduction of the Whisperers, and I think possibly the Whisperer War, and they haven't been introduced in the show yet. So the good thing about the Condominium books, they can get you pretty much caught up if you're constantly reading. And it's kind of funny now how they say with the other show they weren't going to cross it over because we get a little bit of Abraham's backstory, and the rumor is that with the crossover that Kirkman had announced, Abraham Ford might be the character we might see again in Fear the Walking Dead. But that is by speculation. Morales is another one, despite of what we saw, with his character now being reintroduced. But we might get a backstory on that. So I can't really wait to see how it unfolds. And a good thing, season 4 and 5 had really pushed that set introduction into ideas of communities and multiple things really going on, not just from Rick's and his group's perspective. Because I think it was necessary that season 1 and 2 was contained with just him and those small set groups of people that he had encountered. And then, like what they said from season 1, what Greg Nicotero said, it said from the first episode, you just see everything getting bigger and bigger and bigger by each episode. And yeah, that's pretty much the main bits or gist that I got, from this season. And see you guys in season 6. Yeah, like I said, it's very quick. Talk to you later. Peace.